If a viewer only changes one sugar habit this week, should they start by quitting dessert or by reading the added sugars line on drinks and packaged foods?
I'd start with the label because it prevents the classic mistake, treating an orange and a soda like the same exposure. Intrinsic sugar is packaged inside cells with water, fiber, chewing, volume, and micronutrients. Added sugar is put into a food or drink to sweeten it. The molecule may overlap, but the delivery system changes speed, fullness, and how easily calories stack up. The nutrition facts label is useful because it turns a vague word, sweet, into grams and percent daily value. A product can have total sugars from milk or fruit and also list added sugars separately. That second line is the behavior target. You are not diagnosing your metabolism from one package. You are finding the repeated exposures that quietly become a daily load.
Why do sugary drinks keep showing up as the first target? Is it just because they have sugar, or because liquid calories behave differently from food calories?
Both. A sweet drink can deliver a lot of carbohydrate before your brain gets much texture information. With whole foods, chewing time, gastric stretch, protein, fiber, and meal context all contribute to satiety signals. That does not make a soda poisonous. It means the body may not compensate by eating less later. So the easiest metabolic win is often replacing regular sugary drinks with water, unsweetened drinks, or smaller portions.
But replace sugary drinks can turn into never consume sugar. For someone with diabetes, hypoglycemia risk, or a history of restrictive eating, how careful does that message need to be?
Very careful. The goal is lower habitual added sugar exposure, not a moral rule. In children and young people with type 1 diabetes, a pragmatic crossover study found that adding 10 grams of protein to a high glycemic breakfast or choosing a lower glycemic option reduced post-meal glucose excursions. That is a meal design lesson. Carbohydrate dose, speed, protein, and insulin planning interact. That also explains why no added sugar for 30 days videos can overpromise. Some people feel better because they removed large liquid calories, replaced snacks with meals, or improved sleep routines around late-night eating. But the intervention is not magic detox. The realistic endpoint is fewer energy-dense exposures and smoother post-meal patterns, especially when replacement foods are more filling.
For kids, should parents remove every sweet food, or is the evidence more about changing the default snacks and drinks at home without making sweetness forbidden?
A preschool trial is helpful here because it was practical. Children received lower sugar, lower sweetness snacks, and caregivers got nutrition and dental health education, including guidance to remove sugar-sweetened beverages from the home. At 4 months, children consumed about 10 fewer teaspoons of added sugar per day and roughly 103 fewer beverage calories than controls. Caregivers reduced intake too. An environment is bigger than the pantry. A systematic review in early adolescence found that friends' unhealthy food intake was generally positively associated with adolescents' own unhealthy intake, while healthy food associations were less consistent. So the dose is partly social. What sports teams, school groups, and friends' circles normalize as the everyday drink or snack.
What about warning labels on restaurant menus? Do they actually change choices, or do people just notice them and order the same sweet drink anyway?
They changed hypothetical orders modestly. In a large U.S. online randomized trial, warning labels reduced added sugar order for dinner by about 7 to 11%, depending on design, and breakfast by about 5 to 7%. That is meaningful at population scale, but it is not proof that any single labeled item is forbidden. It is a friction tool for high-dose choices.
If someone still wants sweetness, what do we know about rare sugars like allulose or tagatose? Are they a metabolic loophole or just another substitution with limited evidence?
They are substitutions, not loopholes. A meta-analysis found allulose and tagatose reduced postprandial glucose and insulin responses with moderate certainty evidence, but did not show broad improvements in lipids or body composition. Also, replacing sugar with functional ingredients can backfire if the total diet gets worse. One small fiber trial on a high-protein diet even found worse insulin sensitivity signals, reminding us that isolated ingredients are context-dependent. To judge whether reducing added sugar is helping, track substitutions, not virtue. Are regular sodas becoming water or unsweetened tea? Are sweet snacks being replaced by meals with protein and fiber or by salty ultra-processed snacks? Are energy, dental habits, weight trend, triglycerides, A1C, or glucose patterns improving when those are relevant? If nothing improves, revise the replacement, not your self-worth.
So the cleanest rule is not fear sugar. It is keep fruit and plain dairy in a different mental category, check added sugars on labels, treat sugary drinks as the highest yield swap, and make the replacement more filling than the original. Is that the honest compression?